Welcome everyone to our discussion. We're diving into an intriguing video that pits Trump against Musk, with James Carville weighing in, and there's just so much to unpack here.
Absolutely, it's a real mixed bag, and the debate and reactions in the comments are wild.
Right, so the video itself is called James Carville, Trump versus Musk, and it's hosted on Politicon. It's got almost 300K views and stirred up a storm of opinions online. You can tell it struck a nerve.
Yeah, definitely. And what's interesting is how people are really reacting. From calling Trump a clown to outright accusations of treachery. The comments are seriously passionate.
It really is, and what's compelling is the blend of humor, anger, and even nostalgia in some of those remarks. One comment quoted an old Turkish proverb about clowns and palaces. When a clown moves into a palace, he doesn't become a king. The palace becomes a circus. That really encapsulates the sentiment.
Right. Exactly. It's kind of like the metaphor shines a light on the chaos we're witnessing, both in politics and in business realms these days. Trump versus Musk has become a sort of cultural battleground.
Yes, and what's interesting is how Carville's perspective adds a serious dimension to what might otherwise be viewed as just entertainer-style fodder. He's known for his sharp political commentary, so his take here isn't coming off as mere spectacle. It's layered.
But let me ask, isn't it a bit of a stretch to compare, say, technological disruptors like Musk with political figures like Trump? I mean, they operate in entirely different arenas.
That's a fair point, but Carville seems to be arguing that the personalities and the cult of personality around both figures are similar. It's like, regardless of the arena, when you have larger-than-life personas, the impact on public discourse becomes comparable. That kind of parallel makes sense.
Yeah, true. Though some might argue that equating a tech entrepreneur with a politician can oversimplify the current political chaos. Do you think that dilutes the complexity of the issues at hand?
I get that concern, but Carville's approach, in a way, is to highlight how both figures disrupt traditional power structures. It's like a circus where the normal rules just get thrown out. You know what I mean?
I see that angle, but I'm still not entirely convinced. It almost feels like he's trading on shock value. But then again, the audience seems to love it.
Yeah, the engagement is off the charts. View counts nearing 300K, thousands of comments, and the like. The level of public outcry, whether calling for impeachments or for protests, reveals how charged the situation is. Excitement is palpable.
Absolutely. And speaking of protests, one comment mentioned attending a protest against so-called kings and those cutting social programs. It shows how the political rhetoric here triggers real-life action for some people.
Definitely. It's like political theater at its most raw, but with real stakes behind the theatrics. People are using the video as a rallying cry, and sometimes as an outlet for their frustrations, both with the political system and the leaders they view as, well, too erratic. No doubt about that.
And then there's the commentary about national security risks and dysfunction in Washington, especially noting how foreign powers might be laughing at the chaos. That adds a whole international dimension to the discussion.
Yep, absolutely. Some viewers pointed out that figures like Putin and Xi might be smirking as they watch the internal discord. It's a stark reminder that political instability here can have global consequences.
Right.
It's all interconnected.
In a way, it's like watching a high-stakes chess match. But instead of chess pieces, we have world leaders and tech moguls maneuvering in unpredictable ways.
That's a neat analogy. It's like a game where the usual rules are constantly being rewritten. And while some criticize this for oversimplifying political realities, I think it captures a very real sense of instability. It's a chaotic blend of influences.
However, isn't there a risk that by framing it so theatrically, we might be encouraging a kind of spectacle over substance? Some might argue that we need more nuanced debate instead of circus-like narratives.
Now that's a good point, honestly. I mean, while the spectacle draws viewers in, it might distract from more critical policy debates. Yet, when you consider Carville's background, he uses drama as a tool to underline serious points. It's a double-edged sword.
And looking at the audience reaction, you can see a mix. Some are nostalgic for the old political guard, while others are downright alarmed by what they perceive as rampant dysfunction.
Exactly. I even saw comments from veterans and older Americans expressing deep concern over the state of politics, like, as one person mentioned, serving their oath and worrying about what the future holds. It really cuts across generations.
Yeah. Plus, there's that recurring theme of protest and calls for impeachment, which suggests that for some, the stakes are not just theoretical, they're ready to act.
Right, it's almost like this video is a barometer. It measures and fuels a kind of public sentiment that roils through our political landscape. It's a litmus test
Absolutely.
of current frustrations.
And what about the production itself? Politicon does a good job placing this content in context with high production values, snappy editing, and timely release. It's clearly crafted to maximize engagement.
For sure, it's not just the content but the presentation, from the live format markers to rapid-fire social media callbacks. It makes everything feel immediate and urgent. Modern media at its peak.
I noticed that too. The streaming aspect and the interactivity, with comments and likes counting up, give the audience a sense of community, even if it's a very polarized one.
Definitely, and that feeds into the broader narrative of our times where everyone feels like they have a stake in this political drama. It's almost democratizing the discourse for better or worse. It's a modern phenomenon.
But if I may challenge a bit, don't you think that this kind of hyper engagement might also amplify misinformation or overly simplistic narratives? Sometimes these spectacles can oversimplify complex issues.
That's a valid critique. The risk is always that the dramatic flair takes precedence over deep analysis. Yet, I'd argue that for many viewers, the spectacle is what makes the political issues relatable, even if it sometimes sacrifices nuance. It's a trade-off indeed.
Exactly. And it raises the question, are we, as an audience, prepared to sift through the theatrics to find the substantive debates underneath?
That is the million-dollar question. And frankly, debates like Trump versus Musk, even if seemingly outrageous, force us to consider how deeply intertwined personality, media, and policy have become.
Yeah.
It's a wake-up call.
And speaking of intertwined, don't you think it's interesting how this video sparks not just political passion, but also a sort of cultural reflection? It merges political commentary with broader cultural narratives about celebrity, business empire, and even global power dynamics.
Absolutely, it's like the old world drama meets new age tech hype. It's like Apple versus Orange, yet somehow they both evoke similar reactions and societal anxieties. It's a fascinating mix.
And even the title itself, Trump versus Musk, is so provocative. It almost seems designed to ignite debate whether one agrees or disagrees.
Precisely. The title grabs your attention, and then James Carville steps in to dissect it with his trademark bluntness. It's not subtle at all. It's high voltage commentary.
Absolutely. I guess, in the end, whether you see it as just entertainment or a serious political message, it undeniably reflects the times we live in, chaotic, divisive, and yet full of energy and contestation.
Well said. And as viewers, it challenges us to think critically about where we get our information and how we interpret political narratives amidst all this noise. No one can argue that it isn't thought-provoking.
For sure. It reminds us that in today's media landscape, even a single video can become a microcosm for the larger battles being waged in society about truth, power, and identity.
Exactly. And while the spectacle might sometimes overshadow the substance, it still serves as a mirror to our culture. Whether it's cheers or jeers, the conversation is out there, lighting up comment sections across the board.
Yeah.
It's a dynamic conversation that we won't be getting any quieter anytime soon.
And while we might not have all the answers, at least discussions like these help us navigate the increasingly turbulent waters of modern politics.
Absolutely. It's been great dissecting this with you. The interplay of spectacle and substance, the drama, the passion, and even the controversies. Till next time, let's keep engaging and questioning. Definitely.
Thanks for joining in on today's conversation. Stay curious, and we'll catch you on the next dive into the pulse of public debate.